What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a 2020 year-end debt payoff update summary analysis video. If you are new here and you have not watched any of my debt payoff update videos before, then I'm just going to warn you, this video is going to be a lot of numbers, and if you've been following our journey then you know we've been working really hard on paying off our debt in 2020. And when I say we, I mean me and my husband. We started out 2020 with $369,000 of debt that was a car loan, student loans, and credit card debt. We have paid off everything except for the student loans, but the student loans are the biggest part of it, and so we are working on that in 2021. So make sure you hit subscribe if you want to follow along with our debt payoff progress next year. But in today's video I thought it would be interesting to kind of look back and see what we paid, how much of our income went towards debt, just kind of show you guys how I think about this, because I've evolved a lot throughout the last year. The way I've looked at our money and the way I've analyzed how our debt payoff progress is going. So I thought maybe giving you guys an inside look as to how we analyze where we're at would be interesting. This video does have a lot of numbers and does have a lot of math. So if you are confused about any of the numbers that I'm sharing or how I calculated these numbers, then please comment below and let me know, and I'd be happy to explain how I figured all these things out. I like math and I consider myself to be pretty good at math. I'm not good at like adding numbers quickly in my head, but if you give me a calculator or a spreadsheet, I can do pretty well with it to figure out percentages and things. And as a person who actually likes math, I found this video to be challenging to prepare for, and to explain it to you guys in a way that will be coherent and like make sense has taken me a lot of time and effort. So if you like the video, make sure to please smash that like button, because when I get a lot of likes on a video, it really helps out my channel. So if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so this year was a very busy year for us. In terms of debt payoff, we went all in the first year of our debt payoff journey, and we were very successful in putting a great dent in our debt. Now, as I mentioned, we started off the year with over $369,000 of debt. In 2020, we paid $79,002 towards that debt, but not all of that went to principal. A lot of it went to interest. So our total debt payoff for 2020 was $62,277. That means of the $79,000 that we paid towards debt this year, $16,725 went towards interest. Now, because of us paying off our high interest credit card debt and doing some refinancing of our student loans, we were able to lower our interest rates. Our average interest rate for our debts going into 2021 is much lower. So while we paid almost $17,000 of interest in 2020, in 2021 it should be closer to between $8,000 and $10,000 that we paid towards interest. So that's super exciting, because that means more of the money that we're putting towards our debt next year is actually going to be paying down the principal versus just going to the lender as interest. Now, if you average out our monthly payments, we paid $6,583 per month towards debt this year, and the amount we paid off, the amount of that that went towards principal each month, was $5,190 per month on average. I mentioned this in my last debt payoff update, but like those numbers just don't seem real to me. I'm so amazed at how much progress we were able to make this year compared to how much we've struggled in other years. And we did get significant raises this year, and we paid off a bunch of small debts and higher interest debts, so we were able to accelerate our progress. But still, it's just way more than I thought we were going to be able to pay off this year. I didn't set a goal number for this year when we started our debt payoff, because I just had no idea how the first year was going to go. I did a whole video on our 2021 goals. I'll put that in the description if you haven't seen it. Part of the reason we were able to pay off so much debt is because we do have really high income. Part of the reason we have such big student loans is because my husband and I both went to graduate school, and I'm a lawyer and he has an MBA, and so those programs were very expensive. But there is an argument that they were a good investment, because we do both make over $100,000 a year. Now, we didn't start out of school making that much, but over the years our income has grown, and so we are making good salaries now, and that is why we've been able to put so much money towards our debts this year. So the next thing I want to look at is the percent of our gross income that went towards debt or savings or everything this year, and gross income just means income before taxes, like what your actual paycheck is before taxes or health insurance or anything else is taken out. So I don't have the exact number because we haven't done our tax return yet, but I believe our total gross income for 2020 will be about $230,000. Since we paid $79,000 to debt this year, that would mean that we paid about 34% of our gross income to debt. And that does not include our mortgage or our home equity line. So in addition to that, we paid 10.5% of our gross income to our home equity line and our mortgage in 2020, which is about $24,000 for the year. Now, we didn't contribute much to retirement, and we are changing that next year. And I went over all that again in our 2021 goals video. But in 2020, we contributed 1.5% of our gross income to retirement and 6.5% of our income to savings. So we built up an emergency fund from $3,000 to $18,000 this year, just because we wanted that peace of mind with everything going on. And it is very reassuring to have that money sitting there in savings in case something happens with our jobs or we need it or whatever. So looking at all those payments to debt and savings, if you look at how much went to debt and savings, excluding our mortgage payments, then 42% of our income went to debt and savings this year. And if you include our mortgage, then it is 52.5% went to debt and savings this year. So that is actually our goal for next year, is to have at least 40% of our income going to debt and savings, excluding the mortgage. So without having known how we did this year, I set that goal for next year. And then when I went back and looked at the numbers, we actually hit that this year too and exceeded it. So that was cool to see, because it seems like that's kind of a realistic percentage for us to hit for next year. During the year, we were able to decrease our number of debts from 7 different debts down to just 2. Well, technically it's 3 because we haven't made the last payment to my husband's undergraduate loan, but that's happening like tomorrow probably. So as of tomorrow or within a couple days, we'll be down just to my student loan for graduate school and my husband's student loan. So from 7 debts down to 2 debts, which is really nice because it's a lot less to keep track of. And throughout the year, we actually did 6 refinances, and I was feeling so exhausted in November when we were doing our refinance of our student loans, our 2 big student loans for the second time. And I was just like, why am I feeling so burnt out on all this stuff? And then when you look back and you realize you did 6 refinances in 2020, you're like, oh, okay, that's probably has something to do with it, on top of all the other stuff we've been doing and working full time and like childcare and everything that we have going on. Like, we threw in 6 refinances. And so what they were is we refinanced my student loan and my husband's student loan twice. So that was 4 refinances. Then we consolidated our credit card debt into a lower interest loan. And I went into detail about all of these things in separate videos. I did a video on the student loan refinancing. I did a detailed video on the credit card debt refinancing. And so I'll also link those in the description. I'm not gonna go into detail about those in this video because there's just not time. But for the credit card refinancing, we were able to lower our interest rate on our credit card debt from, I think it was like 23% down to less than 12% when we consolidated our credit cards into a personal loan with SoFi. So if you're interested in doing that, I do have an affiliate link, and you will get a $300 welcome bonus if you use my link when you refinance your loans. For our student loans, we had government loans originally that we refinanced to private loans. And so just keep in mind, if you're looking at this for student loans, I always mention this because it's really important, that you lose the government protections, like the pause on the student loan interest and the pause on the payments that happened this year for people with certain government loans. So keep that in mind. But for us, it made a lot of sense for reasons that I went into in our student loan refinancing video. So just to give you guys kind of an idea of like what the refinancing looked like for our student loans. So for my husband's student loan, his balance is about $103,000, and that was a 15-year loan with a 4.6% interest rate. And so our payment was, I believe, $862 a month. And when we refinanced, we were able to get a 10-year loan. So we cut 5 years off of the loan, and the interest rate dropped from 4.6 to 3.2. And by doing that, our payment only went up $100 a month. So it went up to $962 a month, but is taking off 5 years of the loan. And if we don't pay any extra payments and don't pay it off early, we would save about $8,000 in interest over the life of the loan. We do plan to make extra payments, so we won't see all of those savings, but we are paying interest until it's paid off. So it's definitely saving us money. So just do your research, but we were really glad that we refinanced all of those loans. And then the last one is we did a refinance on our mortgage, and we were able to reduce our interest rate from 4.5% to 3.5%. So it doesn't sound like a lot, 1%, but over the course of the loan, it will save us a significant amount of money. Our payment also went down by like $450 a month. And so that was a huge savings, because now that money goes towards our debts, our other debts, our student loans and stuff. And so it's helping that speed up quicker. So it all just kind of like snowballs, like they call it a debt snowball, because it really does build and build and build on itself as you make more progress. So as you can see here on our debt payoff spreadsheet, which I show every month when I do my debt payoff updates, here's the 7 loans we started with, and we are down to almost 2, and the interest rate on those 2 loans is 3.3% and 3.2%, which is great. Oh, also I meant to mention this at the beginning. I'm really excited because I have been working hard the past several weeks on updating the spreadsheet and making it more user-friendly and as automated as possible, because I am going to be starting an Etsy shop. And so you will be able to purchase my debt payoff spreadsheet, so you can use it in your debt payoff journey, and I'm super excited about it. I've been testing it, and I just want to spend a few more weeks testing it and tweaking it to make sure it's the best possible version that it can be for you guys. But I'm really excited to be able to show it to you guys every month in my videos, but then also have you guys be able to use it in your own debt payoff. So it will probably be available like end of January-ish. I haven't picked a launch date or anything yet, but I'm so excited about it. I'm anxious about it too, because I really want it to be something valuable for you guys. It has been such a valuable tool for us during our debt payoff, and I made it from scratch, and I've tweaked it over the months and over the course of the year. So I'm super excited to make it available to you guys for purchase, and look forward to that towards the end of the month. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I know it's a lot of math, a lot of numbers. My videos are typically lots of numbers, but this one was especially number heavy. So I hope you got some value in understanding how we think about these things and how we're tracking everything. Thank you guys so much for all your encouragement and support throughout the year. It really has meant a lot to us and kept us going as we're working on tackling a very overwhelming amount of debt. We're really proud of what we were able to accomplish in 2020, and I can't wait to see what we're gonna do next year. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!